Hi, I'm Richard Davis, and this is Burnaby Connect. Today we have a really exciting fusion for you, food and political segments with a focus on the future. First up, we have the food truck Real Mac and Cheese.
We're happy to try. We haven't really gone to Brentwood that much before, so it's nice to get a new clientele, and hopefully it will work out that people will want to come to us more often. We started with the mac and cheese truck 7 years ago, and my parents have been in the concession business for my whole life, so the switch from a trailer to a truck just kind of seemed like the right time because it's easier to move and it's a bit easier to book, and it's much more of a one-trick pony kind of deal. We actually saw it when we went on a trip to London many moons ago, and then the way that they just had one item and did it really well. We thought that was kind of a cool idea, just to stick to one thing, and mac and cheese is good. We like mac and cheese here, and we just perfected it a little bit, and decided it's easier than trying 8 different items and making it hard for ourselves. This year we built a third food truck, so it's all the same mac and cheese, and decided that this would be the great year just to expand, and then we had all 3 trucks booked throughout the whole year, and mid-March, every single, for the next 2 weeks, once all the closing happened, all of our events got canceled, so we had to completely pivot our whole structure. Now we're doing farmers markets and breweries, and instead of doing major festivals and music concerts and stuff, so it's definitely impacted us a lot. We're a family-run business, so it's kind of fun. My parents work with us as well, and my husband and I, so it's a full run. We're quite the seamless production. We all do our part, we all have our job. My husband's at another event right now with the truck with some staff, so we could be anywhere. We go from Mission to Whistler, and it's every day is different. So I think that's the most fun part of it all. It's gorgeous. They've done a really great job of the whole atmosphere. I think it's really fun and young and vibrant. I mean, it's definitely different than when I was growing up around here. So I'm happy with what they're doing, for sure.
Pretty appetizing, but now it's time for change. The Sustainability Teens Climate Strike. These group of intrepid young teens take time out of their busy schedules regularly to fight for climate justice.
A set of demands for what we as young people wanted to see in the September 23rd program.
Hi, I'm Richard Davis from Burnaby Connect. We're here at the intersection of Hastings and Ingleton, right across from MP Terry Beach's office. Right now, as you can maybe see behind me, the Sustainability Teens of the Burnaby and Tri-Cities chapter are protesting for climate justice. Can you tell us why you're here and what you do with the Sustainability Teens?
Yeah, so I'm an organizer with Sustainability Teens, both the Burnaby and West Tri-Cities branch, as well as the Central Team and Climate Strike Canada. So today we're here as part of the National Not Going Back campaign. And so we, along with other young people all across the country, released a set of demands for what we wanted to see in the government's throne speech on September 23rd. And so that includes tackling inequality, tackling systemic racism and colonialism, and treating the climate emergency like an emergency in our recovery from COVID-19. And so we didn't really see those demands reflected in the throne speech, and really just saw a lack of progress and a lack of a bold vision going forward. And so we're taking to the streets again today because our generation is going to be most impacted by the decisions that our government makes today. And so I think we can see that this is something that the public is really interested in, the public agrees with us on. And so we're hoping that through the 50 plus actions that are happening today across the country, our government will realize that this is a priority and take action.
So today, what was the level of support that you saw from the public and other members who are not part of Sustainability Teens?
So we definitely saw a lot of public support today. I think we obviously saw 1 million people across Canada in the streets last September demanding climate action. So we know that there is public support behind what we're demanding because we're fighting for everyone. You know, we're fighting for there not to be any more wildfire smoke because of forest fires, and we're fighting for inequality, and we're fighting for, you know, tackling racism and colonialism and all of these issues that are plaguing our society right now. And so I think there's absolutely public support behind us, and now the government just needs to realize that that's the reality.
So could you guys tell us why you are here today and why this is important to you?
Yeah, so we are all three of us are the execs of the Climate Change Club at Burnaby North Secondary School. We started it last year. We're 3 students who are really passionate about helping the climate and possibly saving our future from the climate crisis. And through even just making an impact on one person, that one person is going to go and make an impact on their family, their friends. Mainly at the school, we just try to encourage people to come out and show up for these kinds of things because we really need lots of numbers to show up and show people that we care. It's just a lot about like publicizing it too, like getting the information out there so that people know that these kinds of things are happening, because usually the information is really hard to get to people. So through our Instagram, we have lots of people following it. So if things like these happen today, we can publicize that and tell people that it's happening so that we get more people showing up within the community.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Saving the ocean is great, but you know what else is great? Freshly cooked lobster. Next up is Salty's Lobster Shack.
So Salty's Lobster Shack has been in business now for about 2 years. We started off at the Richmond Night Market, and it just kind of springboarded from there. This year, I mean, we do lobster rolls, crab rolls, lobster grilled cheeses, crab grilled cheeses. We do some lobster bisque. We try and keep it as simple as possible so that it's easy to execute and that we can stay consistent with the product that we are putting out. That way, when you come to the shack, you know that you're going to get the same thing every other time. Instead of having a big, vast menu and trying to do 100 different things, we just focus on doing 5 or 6 things and doing them really, really well. Salty's Lobster Shack, our lobster roll is probably about 50% of our sales mix, and then the other one is our lobster bisque, which we make from scratch, both products from scratch. And the lobster bisque is also a really, really popular seller as well. Those 2 items are the ones that kind of fly off the shelf. You know, I would say that you have to take a lot of shots and you have to throw a lot of things at the wall and see what sticks. You're gonna fail a ton. There's a 90% fail rate in the restaurant industry, so you're gonna fail just an astronomical amount, but don't give up. So my business partner, he's got a friend who's actually a lobster fisherman in Halifax, and he came out here for vacation and decided that he wanted to get a lobster roll, and as he was looking around, he didn't see anywhere that really had lobster rolls. There's a few places like Joe Forte's was offering one for like 23 or 24 bucks. So he went there and he got it, and he was like, man, that's just not good at all. And he's like, man, you guys should do something with lobster rolls. You guys should take a look at seeing if you can formulate a business around it, because it's everywhere on the East Coast, and I've got the buddies who are the lobster fishermen, so we could probably get you a pretty sweet deal from just plucking them right out of the ocean and getting them to you guys here on the West Coast. So that's what we did. We looked at all of our options as far as getting our inventory, finding out what production would be, and then like the ball just kind of started rolling from there, and bam, now we're Salty's Lobster Shack. So we're open 7 days a week for all those delicious lobster rolls. Come get it.
Lobsters can't vote, and neither can 16-year-olds. A group of intrepid campaigners is trying to change that. Here's a look at Vote 16 BC.
So I'm Renee, and I am involved with Vote 16 BC, which is an organization that is centered around lowering the voting age to 16 in BC. And I work as their social media manager, but I'm also a part of a lot of organizational duties and things like that. I've seen a lot of injustice around me, as I'm sure everybody has. And especially traveling so much around the world and living in different places, the cultural distinction I've seen only increased my rigor to get involved in politics. So I got involved pretty young. Like I started, getting involved in politics in my school, like student council and stuff, when I was like 12. And then later I went to work at the UN for 3 years as an internship sort of thing. And there, I would meet a lot of world leaders. I would meet a lot of delegates that wanted the youth perspective on things, but they were very quick to dismiss it as well. Or they would chalk it up, the idea that I have given or like a solution that I have suggested to someone else just because they were older and had more power than I did. And that's sort of when I realized that I was being dismissed and not listened to just because I was young. And that kind of, pushed me towards looking at youth in politics and recognizing the change that we can make, which pushed me to vote 16, because the first part of being involved in politics is voting. And I think the youth would be a lot more involved in politics if only they were allowed to vote. Lowering the voting age to 16, that's a very broad topic. First of all, it allows youth to be represented in politics, which then allows politicians to hear our concerns and actually listen to us about the things that are bothering us. It is our future, and the only way we can have a part in building it is if politicians and parties actually include youth issues such as climate action, the school curriculum and the changes that can be made, LGBTQIA inclusive sex ed, things like that in their platform. If these things aren't in their platform, the youth will never be represented, and they won't represent the youth until we are a part of the voting majority.
Awesome. Okay, so as I was saying, a lot of 16-year-olds that I've talked to have very little political awareness. What should we do about this?
I really don't think voting is about political awareness, because yes, some young people don't have a lot of political awareness, but there are several adults that are of voting age and can cast a ballot that have no political awareness at all. Like, political awareness does not dictate the voting age. It's like some youth are in politics. We have some of the youngest candidates this election, like Katie O'Connor for the Green Party. She's 18, but there are also candidates like that are 50. So political awareness really varies through ages, and that's no marker for being able to vote. But in terms of what we should do about it, I think if we lower the voting age, that would force schools into integrating political education into their curriculum, because so much of their population would be voting, which would hence increase political awareness. Of course, more and more people are getting involved, but we could always use more. So if you're not involved in this debate, please be. We could use the volunteers. And honestly, we're fighting for your future, and so should you be. This world is only going to be around if you take care of it, and the only way to do that is to lower the voting age and create that dominoes effect. So please join us. We would love the help.
All of this activism is making me hungry. Here's a look at Burgerholic.
Hi, my name is Abby. I'm going to be speaking with Ferris from Burgerholic today.
We had some food business backgrounds the past 10 years, and we had a very famous recipe for a patty that was handmade and handcrafted with famous chipotle peppers inside, and that's basically how Burgerholic came about. A lot of people would tease us and say you guys are addicted to burgers, and so we decided yes we are, and we'd like to put that into a business plan. And we thought the easiest way and fastest way, and also the most, urban way to do it is through the food truck, and that's how we basically started. I would say everything about us is handmade and handcrafted, down to our sauce for the burger, which is the Meataholic, which is unique in itself because it comes with bacon and wieners and everything else, so it's very loaded. And then second most favorite to people came the Explodaholic, which is our fries that's super loaded with the burger patty and extra bacon, extra wieners, and lots of items. So I think what makes us unique is the handcrafted aspect. Our chef, Ali, he's behind me working in the truck. He was really passionate about having different kinds of meat within the burger. I know Vancouverites, they don't typically go for lamb, but we decided to bring in a little bit of a Middle Eastern flavor and add some lamb to our burger, and I think it's worked well for people. Unfortunately, when we started was exactly when COVID hit and everybody was forced to go home. But we're happy, we're thankful that everybody has supported us after COVID, post-COVID. We've had lots of lineups and happy customers, and I think that it was a lot better than we'd expected, because when we first came into the business during COVID, we thought, hey, we have to wait out a year or 2 years before we can actually get going.
Here at Burnaby Connect, we like to cover some stories that are more serious and that affect everyone, not just teens and young adults. Here's a look back at the New West Pier fire. Richard Davis from Burnaby Connect here. We're reporting on the site of the New Westminster Pier fire. As you can see over there, where those supports are, I believe, was the site of where the W was. That has since been removed and salvaged, and hopefully will be reinstalled at a later date.
According to News 1130, the fire started around 8 p.m. that night and burned 5 to 6 acres. The loss of the pier, as well as the iconic Wow Westminster sculpture, has been devastating to the community. The New Westminster Police Department stated on October 13th that Sean Warnick, a 49-year-old male, was charged with mischief to property over $5,000 and arson damaging property.
And now, donuts.
My name is Jaden, and this is Sin City Mini Donuts. It's definitely been a bit of a tough summer, but we've been coming to places like Brentwood Mall, so we've been making it work. We've been keeping busy, so we've been doing okay. We started coming here in August. Normally we're set up at Rogers Arena, BC Place, and the P&E, but obviously since we're not at the P&E right now, we decided to start coming to places like this. My boss, he saw a lemonade stand there at Deer Lake Park, and he said, wow, that would be a really fun job to have. And so he bought a franchise with lemonade and mini donuts, and so now we make mini donuts across the Lower Mainland. We have one permanent location at Main and Broadway right now. We use a cake mix. We just mix it with water and throw it into the deep fryer. We use canola oil for that, so it's peanut free. It takes about 5 minutes to get a bag going. Then we use cinnamon sugar mix and pour it on top. Sometimes we put syrup on it and bacon. Sometimes we try to come up with new stuff, like we did poutine mini donuts in Calgary a couple years ago. We're trying out powdered mini donuts. It's delicious. Sell donuts, spread happiness. Who doesn't like mini donuts?
Donuts can be controversial, but you know what's even more controversial? The One Planet, One Child billboards going up all over Vancouver. I got to speak with the man behind the campaign. I'm sitting down today with Dave Gardner, and you are the Executive Director of World Population Balance.
The organization was founded to, not by me, but by someone else about 27 years ago, a very visionary gentleman in Minneapolis, Minnesota, who saw that overpopulation was really a major root cause of a number of environmental crises. And if we didn't start working on that it really threatened the well-being of future generations.
So obviously you guys have a major ad campaign here in Vancouver as well as in a few other American cities. What is the goal of these ad campaigns?
The goal is to really alert and educate the public because it's been an uncomfortable subject for a long time. People have avoided it. It's been brushed under the rug. The media hasn't covered the subject well. As a result, so many people are not aware that we are in overshoot, and they really don't have really good knowledge about what that means. And let me just quickly kind of give you a background there. Overshoot means that the scale of the human enterprise has outgrown the planet. We're now making demands on the Earth that she cannot sustainably meet year after year after year. And that doesn't bode well for future generations. There's really two major components to that. One is just our level of consumption, the things that we need to provide shelter, food, water, transportation, and then the waste products that are generated in the process of meeting our needs, and then the number of us who have needs to be met. So it's how many people there are and the scale of our consumption that combine to give us this state of overshoot. So we also need to contract the number of us on the planet. And we've actually been demonstrating the solution to that for about 60 years. We've cut the average family size in half around the world, from over 5 now to under 2.5. And as you may know, in the overdeveloped world, I call it, because we've really overachieved in the industrialized world, countries like the United States and Canada, our birth rate is quite low already. So people might be tempted to think, oh, mission accomplished, we've solved the problem. But we're such rampant over-consumers, and there are so many of us already in the overdeveloped world that we can't say mission accomplished. We need to keep it up.
So why billboards? Like, you could do a lot of other forms of advertisement, but why did you guys choose specifically to do the billboard?
I think we decided the progress isn't fast enough. How can we get more attention? And the idea of billboards came to mind because it really would be a perfect component of a national project. So billboard campaign, that would be part of a national project. That might also include public meetings, public service announcements on radio and television, and podcasts, and who knows what else. So we didn't have enough money to do a full national project, but we raised enough funds to kind of demonstrate what the advertising component might be and get a little bit of media attention. And sure enough, we got Canada talking about the subject.
What has been the reception of the billboards? Has it been kind of positive or negative, or kind of mixed?
Well, I'd say it's been mixed. I'll tell you, it's astonished us. It really surprised us how many phone calls we're getting, how many emails, how much Twitter activity, and really even how much news coverage this has gotten. We really weren't fully prepared, so it crashed our website. We had so many visitors. So I guess you could say that we got what we wanted.
Thank you so much for your time, and thanks for coming on the show to talk about it.
Great.
To finish off on a delicious note, here's Coo Grill.
So Coo Grill, basically we're a Japanese Hawaiian fusion. We're actually from Manitoba, and we've just recently moved here. And in Manitoba, we've won our Food Truck Wars 5 years in a row. And we've got all different kinds of awards and presentations and stuff. But basically, we do a hand-rolled meat skewer. We put it on a soft Hawaiian sweet bun. We lay it in a bed of ginger slaw, and then we top it off with different Japanese Hawaiian toppings. I think they like that it's very Instagrammable, because it's photo friendly. It's good because you can kind of take it on the streets, and it's very portable. And yeah, there's lots of different flavors and tastes in there, so it's a good variety. You know what? We loved going to food trucks, and it was just something that's part of the culture. And I feel like with the food trucks these days, they we didn't want to just put out like a burger and fry one. We wanted to give people some choices and options that was fun and dynamic, and and just more interesting things that besides burger and fries on the streets. Well, the future is to put out more good food.
That concludes this month's episode. I've been Richard Davis from Burnaby Connect. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow us on Instagram at Burnaby Connect.
Bye bye.